Hi, I'm Eli, and today I'm going to talk about Nidaros Cathedral, one of Norway's most famous and historic landmarks. I've researched its history, architecture, and cultural significance to give you a full picture of why it matters. So, Nidaros Cathedral is in Trondheim, a city in central Norway. It was built over the burial site of Saint Olav, who was king of Norway in the 11th century. The cathedral sits at the city's center and has been a hub of religion and culture for over 900 years. Site has a ton of historical significance between St. Olav and it being a pilgrimage destination. Construction began around 1070, which was shortly after St. Olav's death. St. Olav, you might ask, was the king of Norway. He was a key figure in Christianization, and he was declared a saint shortly after his death. So this is a major pilgrimage destination. It was spiritual, political, and cultural. People all across Norway came here seeking cultural and political and especially faith renewal with the change in the Christian and Norse identity, which came from paganism and Christianity itself. Norse identity and Christian transformation. A major part of Nidaros Cathedral is it stands as the monument towards the switch from paganism in Norway to Christianity. Before St. Olaf, Norway was almost entirely pagan, and his reign and eventual sainthood helped establish Christianity as the main religion. Also, to touch on it, the architecture of the building was European Gothic that mixed Christian tradition and local tradition. Nidaros Cathedral is especially meaningful to me due to my Norwegian roots. My family on my father's side is from Norway, and my last name Foss actually means waterfall in Nordic. Learning about this cathedral has connected me to my heritage and makes me feel a personal link to the history and traditions of my ancestors. As an extension of this project, I designed a personal badge which was inspired by Nidaros Cathedral. The badge has three main elements: a waterfall motif, Viking knotwork, and the rose window from the cathedral. The waterfall represents my last name, and it symbolizes movement, growth, and connection to my heritage, the movement representing the movement of pilgrims. The Viking knotwork ties back to Norway's Norse history, paganism, and the beliefs in local tradition, representing continuity and cultural roots. And the rose window reflects the cathedral itself, outlining its beauty, faith, and the artistic legacy of the generations who built it. Together, these elements create a badge that connects my identity, heritage, and the inspiration I drew from Nidaros Cathedral. So why does Nidaros still matter? It is not just a historical monument. It is still an active church which hosts religious ceremonies and even the consecration of Norwegian kings. It is also a hub for pilgrimage, which is shared human experience. The place has so much cultural memory preserved in its architecture, and it remains an important part of Norwegian heritage. So for this project, my main sources were online articles and a podcast that I used to gain a solid understanding about Nidaros Cathedral and Norwegian history. These sources helped me understand both the historical facts and the lasting cultural impact of the cathedral. Thank you so much for listening.